Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aditya Dharmadeksh, and uh, I'm the director here in Trivedi Overseas. So we are going to do this seminar or this webinar for you guys. It is very important to understand what is happening in Canada. And in this webinar, we have Utkarsh Bhatia from Navitas and Megan McCallan from market. She's marketing manager in University of Lethbridge International College, Calgary. So say hi to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening.
So it is very early for you, Megan. I really appreciate your effort, what you are putting in this webinar. So yesterday we discussed Canada as in a destination. Today we are moving from destination to decision. We are going to explore whether Calgary and University of Lethbridge pathway could be the right fit for student looking at business and the future focused career in Canada. सो मूविंग फॉरवर्ड आई जस्ट वांट टू टेल यू मैं आप सभी को ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि कल हमारा जो वेबिनार हुआ था वो हमारे चैनल पे लाइव है। आप वहाँ पे जाके देख सकते हैं। आपको जो भी कोई क्वेश्चन या कोई क्वेरी है आप हमारे गिवन नंबर पे हमें बता सकते हैं। आज के इस वेबिनार में जो आज हम मेन पॉइंट, आज का जो मेन एजेंडा है जो आज हम डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं वो है वाई कैलगरी इज बिकमिंग वन ऑफ कैनेडाज मोस्ट टॉक्ड अबाउट student city program and academic opportunity at University of Lethbridge International College, Calgary. Why students choose a pathway instead of direct entry? Cost, scholarship, and affordability, career outcome, co-op, and industry opportunities. पोस्ट स्टडी एंड सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, पोस्ट स्टडी वर्क अपॉर्चुनिटी, यहाँ से पढ़ाई करने के बाद क्या बेनिफिट मिलेगा। एंड लास्ट में हम एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर राउंड रखेंगे जहाँ पे आपका कोई भी क्वेश्चन है वो आप हमारे पैनलिस्ट से पूछ सकते हैं। तो Megan, I have a question for you.
For sure.
Whenever students think about Canada, Toronto, and Vancouver are usually the first name that comes into mind. But lately we are hearing much more about Calgary. At the same time, many students may not know enough about University of Lethbridge and the Calgary. Can you brief us about it?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And you're totally right. I mean, Toronto and Vancouver have always been kind of the top cities in Canada, but Calgary is up and coming. It is becoming kind of the third major city in Canada, and growing really, really fast. So, in terms of size, we've seen a huge growth in the last 10 years, and in terms of the economy, it's grown exponentially. Some people might know that traditionally Calgary has been based around the energy sector. It's been based around petroleum and land. But now there's a huge, huge diversification in the economy changing towards finance and also technology. So that's really, really exciting as students. If you're coming in to study business or computer science or something like this, the economy in Calgary is really strong and a good place to be for those careers. But yeah, University of Lethbridge as well. Within Canada, it's really well reputed. We've got, I think last year it was ranked as 8 out of the kind of primarily undergraduate universities in Canada. So a strong ranking. The business school as well is AACSB accredited. So that, is a designation that only about 6-7% of business schools worldwide have. So a really strong program and really strong business education specifically, which matches to, as I say, kind of that up and coming economy that Calgary is experiencing. So we're seeing more and more interest in Calgary and more things happening in Calgary, more and more job opportunities in Calgary. So it is really a good place to be for people thinking about the future in Canada.
That's very correct. Utkarsh, can you explain more about it so हमारे viewers सारा इसके बारे में और अच्छी तरीके से understand कर सकें?
Sure. First of all, welcome to all Sat Sri Akal, and thank you for inviting us. And I keep meeting a lot of students across North India. So from Punjab, Haryana, Lucknow, all these students. One thing I always, when I'm counseling the students, I always see myself as a student as if I want to decide to study whether I want to go to Calgary or Vancouver or Toronto. See, there are two things. Depends on the student. There's one option where you want to go to a properly developed metropolitan city which is almost near to saturation in terms of jobs. So maybe if I'm going directly for a job, and I'm just going to find an employment there straight away. Maybe there's a scope, it's much better than other options that I have. लेकिन अगर मुझे I want to go into a developing city where the chance of growth is very high, and especially when I'm passing out after 3 or 4 years, the chance to grow, the chance to succeed in a growing city increases your chance to find an employment and to do a better program and to find better employment opportunities also. And with that respect, I would like to show something directly from a UICC student only, if we can ask to share the camera. So this is a Pakistani student who went to Calgary UICC, and first she's sharing about how her experience of Canada is very small in 10-20 seconds, and why Canada is different from other destinations. And one thing I would like to mention is the audio is low, so please follow the subtitles also. So, like one example is this. There's one more example from this student who, is studying in UICC, and I would just like to show what the student experience is in Calgary.
उत्कर्ष इनकी आवाज़ बहुत स्लो है तो आई जस्ट वांट एक मैं मेरे आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है वो क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं आप दोनों स्टूडेंट का हमारे व्यूअर्स को
Sure,
एक्सप्लेन करेंगे तो दैट विल बी मोर
sure,
कन्वीनियंट
sure, sure,
ज़्यादा
sure.
अच्छा रहेगा
So, sure, we can take off the screen.
uh, uh,
So basically, the first student was telling that when we are studying in India, primarily it's more of a memorized based learning. You learn and you just go and write the things in your exam.
कितने
When you
व्यूअर्स
go to
हैं
Canada, everything is a question based. They will ask you, they want you to think and perform. That's what the first student was saying. Second is the campus is in downtown, in the heart of the city. So it's just the train station is just in front of the campus. Big opportunities lie for the students who are going to Calgary and especially UICC, so that there are loads and loads of events happening around the city. So that's what the second student who came from Myanmar is saying.
Yeah, and just to mention Utkarsh as well, in that first video with Alize, where she's sitting there is the public library, which is right
Yeah.
beside the UICC campus. It's a huge, huge, huge library and like a great free resource for students. So like a really nice location. Yeah, I love that shot.
so Megan I have a while doing the session I have a one question in my mind. What can student actually study here in UICC? And let's talk academic. Which student should be paying particular attention in UICC and the University of Lethbridge?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, I mean, with UICC and the University of Lethbridge Calgary campus, the main program is the Bachelor of Business Administration. So, there's lots of majors within that program. I mean, the kind of traditional choices that most of our students go for would be accounting, finance, marketing. We've also got a program in human resources. There's also political science. There's also global business. And then the one that we're really excited about as well is the computer science as well. So that's a Bachelor of Business Administration in Computer Science. And so, as I say, with the pathway, like with UICC, in their first year, they're going to be studying all sorts of general business courses, statistics, microecon, all of these kind of foundational courses. And then they'll be choosing a specialization in their second year. So they can kind of decide after the first year which major they want to go into. But yeah, those marketing, accounting, finance are very popular. We're hoping that we'll see more interest in computer science now that we have it open at the Calgary campus as well. But that's also kind of a niche offering too.
One thing that catch my attention here, Megan, was computer science being combined with business. Tell
Yeah.
us more about it.
Yeah, yeah, it is. You're right. It is really an interesting combination because most of the time, computer science is, a BSc or Bachelor of Science. So it is really unique that we have this Bachelor of Business Administration in computer science. And the nice thing about it is it's not just a minor, or it's not just like a small specialization. It really is half and half. Like half the courses of the major or half the courses of the degree are going to be business related courses, and half are going to be computer science related courses. So students can really combine those two skill sets. They're going to be studying programming languages and data analytics and software, and then they're going to be studying, those same things that I mentioned before, statistics, econ, and this and that. So it's really great, especially if students are interested in staying, within the Canadian economy and kind of this up and coming tech sector that we're seeing in Calgary. Calgary has been named, the fastest growing tech hub in North America for the last 2 years. So we're seeing kind of the most number of tech companies moving into Calgary, probably because of the low tax rate and kind of the high salaries that we experience in the city. So it's a good ecosystem for business, and a good place for companies to be setting up. So, we're hoping that will really match with those skills that students are developing within this pathway.
दैट्स ग्रेट। उत्कर्ष, एक मेरे दिमाग में एक प्रश्न आ रहा है। आई हैव वन क्वेश्चन। बहुत सारे डूइंग दिस काउंसलिंग सेशन बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स मेरे से पूछते हैं व्हेन द सेम प्रोग्राम इज अवेलेबल इन यूनिवर्सिटी, तो ये पाथवे क्यों करना चाहिए था। आई आई रियली वांट कि आप इस पोर्शन को बहुत मतलब थोड़ा सा अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन करें, थोड़ा इजी वे में एक्सप्लेन करें, जिससे कि हमारे व्यूअर्स को समझने में कोई प्रॉब्लम ना हो।
Sure, sure. Thanks for the question. Very valid question, Aditya. I'll try to explain this in Hindi and English both for the viewers. So there's a story behind it, basically. A long time back, couple of years back, when students used to go to directly to the university campus, आप directly university में जाते थे, तो university को एक problem आती थी. Number one is the Indian education system is very different from the Canadian education and academic system. Now, when the student, it's a 17-year-old student, they go to a Canada system and it gets so difficult for them to adjust into that system. And these are huge, big universities. These are public, like UICC. It's a public, University of Lethbridge, public institution. So जो वो transition phase है, they observe कि बच्चे का भी English level उतना on point नहीं है. The subjects are not on that point. The student has studied something else. Now they are getting into a different discipline. Second, university की ranking is so high. जब eligibility check करते हैं तो बच्चा match ही नहीं कर रहा कि जहाँ उसने जो पढ़ा है compared to what वो जो अब पढ़ रहा है. So long time back they introduced this system. Will introduce a campus. So university extended its arms. उसने बोला कि हम एक और campus खोलते हैं for the students, जहाँ पर हम students को इतनी soft landing देंगे ताकि उनको आगे problem ना आए. Big soft landing. So what they did was they reduced the class size. So within the University of Lethbridge system, they made a campus. So good part about University of Lethbridge is उन्होंने वो campus Calgary में खोला है. बहुत सारी universities में within campus होता है. This one is in Calgary. So बच्चे को एक city का exposure नहीं होता, दो cities के exposure. They get the exposure of both the cities. तो वो वहाँ भी network कर सकता है, and they can network in University of Lethbridge also. So now, from a student point of view, there is almost absolutely no difference. I would like to ask the live audience who has joined us, tell us कितना उनको अगर पता हो कि कनाडा में कितने साल की graduation होती है. So when we start hearing the answers, it's 4 years. So for a student going in a pathway college, going in a UICC and going in University of Lethbridge, the duration is just 4 years. There is absolutely no difference. The only difference is उसको एक extra exposure मिलता है, एक extra soft landing मिलती है to study in UICC, where he studies in Calgary. He explores all the opportunities around for 1 year, और उसके बाद उसकी मर्जी है if he wants to go to University of Lethbridge, Lethbridge campus or Calgary campus, upon them. It's their choice. बट वो जो सॉफ्ट लैंडिंग है, वो जो सर्विसेज हैं, वो स्टूडेंट्स को इसमें एक्स्ट्रा मिलती हैं. प्लस ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स हैं कभी कभार, जैसे मैथमेटिक्स इज अ स्ट्रिक्ट रिक्वायरमेंट इन कैनेडियन इंस्टीट्यूशंस, एंड लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स डोंट हैव मैथ्स इन देयर 11th 12th. उनके लिए पाथवे ऑप्शन इज द बेस्ट. आपको एक बड़े पब्लिक इंस्टीट्यूशन में पढ़ने का मौका मिल रहा है, गिवन मे बी अकेडमिकली आप अपने आप को कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं समझते, मे बी आपको छोटी छोटी प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं व्हेन यू एडजस्ट टू अ न्यू कल्चर। तो सारी की सारी फैसिलिटीज दैट यूनिवर्सिटी गिव्स, एंड टेकिंग दैट इनटू अकाउंट, मैं आपको कुछ दिखाना चाहूंगा जहां पर स्टूडेंट्स ने अपना फीडबैक दिया, एंड आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू कि व्हाई इट हैज यूआईसीसी हैज हेल्प देम एक्चुअली। So if you can share the screen and you can ask the team to share the screen, I will show to them. Just give me a heads up if you want, if you are able to see.
जब तक ये स्क्रीन शेयर कर रहे हैं उत्कर्ष, मैं यहाँ पे ना कुछ चीज़ ऐड करना चाहता हूँ। एज एन ए कैलगरी इज अ वन ऑफ द टॉप लिवेबल सिटी इन दिस वर्ल्ड। वहाँ पे दैट इज वन ऑफ द हैप्पीएस्ट सिटी इन दिस वर्ल्ड। एंड एक इंडियन स्टूडेंट जब बाहर कहीं जाता है, कहीं अगर लेट्स डोंट टॉक अबाउट कनाडा, अगर कोई यहाँ का एक पंजाब का स्टूडेंट या दिल्ली का स्टूडेंट किसी और लोकेशन में जाता है, तो उसको बहुत सारी चीज़ों का सामना करना पड़ता है। पहले तो वो अपने नई जगह से छोड़ के जा रहा है, अपने आप को चेंज कर रहा है, वो उस एटमॉस्फेयर में अपने आप को बदल पाता है, नहीं बदल पाता है, ये एक बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन होता है। यहाँ पे पाथवे का रोल बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट हो जाता है कि वहाँ पे उस टाइप के बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट होते हैं जो कि इस पूरे ट्रांजिशन को उनके साथ एक अच्छे तरीके से स्मूथली प्रोसेस कर सकते हैं। क्योंकि यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ लेथब्रिज में पढ़ना इट्स एन अचीवमेंट। ये कोई छोटी मोटी बात नहीं है एक इंडियन स्टूडेंट के लिए जो +2 स्टेट बोर्ड से पास होके डायरेक्ट वर्ल्ड क्लास यूनिवर्सिटी जिसकी रैंकिंग इंडिया के टॉप इंस्टीट्यूशन से बहुत ज़्यादा ऊपर है, तो इट्स अचीवमेंट। आई वुड से इस अचीवमेंट के लिए उनको इस ट्रांजिशन को तुरंत अडॉप्ट करना इट इज़ वेरी डिफिकल्ट। तो यहाँ पे पाथवे प्ले वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल, एंड दैट इट ये एक ब्रिज की तरह वर्क करता है जहाँ पे स्टूडेंट अपने आप को उस ट्रांजिशन में स्मूथली ट्रांसफर कर सकते हैं। तो मेरे को एक बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स से मेरे पास एक क्वेश्चन ज़रूर आता है जब भी हम कनाडा की बात करते हैं। तो सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट जो है कहीं पे भी एजुकेशन का, वो वहाँ का कॉस्ट है। क्या हम स्कॉलरशिप दे रहे हैं और ये कितना अफोर्डेबल है। उत्कर्ष, आई रियली वांट कि आप इसको हमें समझाएं कि यहाँ का ट्यूशन फीस, स्कॉलरशिप, एंट्री क्राइटेरिया एंड प्रोग्राम का क्या कॉस्ट हमें एक स्टूडेंट, इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट को बेयर करना पड़ेगा।
Absolutely, absolutely. Aditya, when you were talking about the last point now, where the student needs that adjustment thing, so made me remind of one student who's studying in Calgary, who studied from UICC and now is into Calgary campus, Aliza. So you saw the video. She was facing problem with statistics. It is very normal. Statistics is, I would not say it's a very easy subject to study. You need a lot of deduction power. समझना मुश्किल होता है स्टैट्स को। और स्टैट्स के लिए जब वो बच्ची यूआईसीसी में पढ़ी, सो द प्रोफेसर्स हैंड होल्ड हर, गेव हर एक्स्ट्रा टाइम ऑन द लेक्चर्स, प्लस उसका प्रोफेसर्स के साथ वो कनेक्ट बना, विच अगेन इन फ्यूचर देयर इज अ बेटर चांस फॉर देम बिकॉज दे नाउ नो द स्टूडेंट। आगे किसी एम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए भी रेफर करने में उनको बहुत हेल्प होगी। नाउ कमिंग बैक टू द कॉस्ट, दो तरह की यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं। ज्यादातर जो प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं आप देखोगे उनकी कॉस्ट हाई जाती है। Similarly, like India में जो पब्लिक इंस्टीट्यूशन है लाइक दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी, सिमिलरली लाइक यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ लेथब्रिज है, यूआईसीसी है, द कॉस्ट टू स्टडी देयर, दिस इज द बिगेस्ट एडवांटेज। कॉस्ट कम होती है, विच इज समवेयर अराउंड 22 to 23,000 कैनेडियन डॉलर्स इज द 1 year fee। And right now, जो students आज जो webinar में we are connecting, so we'll share the QR code. If they join through us, they have a better chance to get the scholarship only if they join the group, so that you can counsel and we can get the grades of the student. So right now the scholarship is somewhere around 3,000 to 3,500 Canadian dollars. So उसके ऊपर उनको वो स्कॉलरशिप मिलेगी जिसमें से 2,000 स्ट्रेट अवे मिलती है। और जब वो बच्चे आगे प्रोग्रेस करते हैं अपने सेकेंड ईयर में, दैट मीन्स फर्स्ट ईयर कंप्लीट करके सेकेंड ईयर में जाते हैं, then they get somewhere around 1,500 more scholarship as a progression, as a gift कि आपने वो progress किया है, you made that progress. So this is a kind of investment that the student needs to think. Again, living wise, Calgary is way more cost effective compared to any other big cities, where somewhere around $800, $900 to $1,500, depending on आप कितना lavish रह रहे हो या आप कितना simple रह रहे हो। Somewhere starts around 800, 900. So entry requirements, maths की जरूरत नहीं है। बच्चे international year 1, which is the first year, they don't need mathematics. They can apply to us. If the score is somewhere between 50 to 60%, they become eligible to apply. Provided, and the intake is also open right now, the September intake. I wish if Megan has something to add to it because so many details are there. If she can share some of the bits and pieces, small details in
Yeah,
this.
no, for sure. Thanks for all of that information, Utkarsh. And yeah, just I just want to kind of highlight what you were saying about the living costs in Calgary. Just that, yeah, as we mentioned, Calgary is one of the major cities in Canada, so it does have that big city lifestyle. But the nice thing is, it is the cheapest of the major cities in Canada in terms of living expenses. So Alberta, the province of Alberta that we're in, is a really, really nice place to live just because, yeah, we've got like that lower sales tax, we've got the lower cost of living. The accommodation market is really coming down and it's like really reasonable right now. So as you mentioned, those numbers totally correct. We could be looking around 800 if we want something simple, but then if people want something a bit more luxurious in the center of Calgary, then we can go up to 1,500. But still, that's quite reasonable compared to other cities within the country. So quite manageable in terms of living costs and day to day. And there's lots of options. That's the thing too. That's good to keep in mind. Is the rental market is not totally peaking. There's lots and lots of space and lots of availability within the city. So it's a good place to be in that aspect. Yeah.
So I always heard, Megan, I would just wanted to discuss one thing with you. As an international student, he always fear about it, where he will live. So accommodation, I just wanted to compare with the other big cities like Toronto and Vancouver, how cost effective Calgary is.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I don't have the numbers specifically from Vancouver and Toronto, but it's definitely going to be it's going to be closer to the 2000 mark if you want to live in downtown, in one of those cities. But if you want to live in downtown Calgary, you can find something between 1,000 and 1,500. So like if you want that downtown lifestyle and live like close to everything, then that's actually pretty reasonable. Of course, students are mostly looking outside downtown because they're looking for more cost-effective options. But again, the size of the city is nice in that aspect, in that you don't have to go too far in order to find something a little cheaper. So if you want something around less than $1,800, $900, then most students look kind of in the south of the city. They'll find a room for rent or apartments there, and then they'll just take the train to class. So as mentioned in the video, we're right beside the central train station, and we're within the free transit zone as well. So if students are just traveling within the downtown core, they don't have to pay for a transit pass. If they want to live outside downtown, they'll pay for a monthly transit pass, which I think is about $80 to $100 a month. But then they'll be able to just go straight to class from where they found an accommodation. And there's also quite a few student residences. One of the ones that we like to talk about is just outside of downtown. That's about $1,000 a month as well, and only students in that building. So that's one we like to promote as a safe and secure option, and a student community there as well. But there's quite a few universities in Calgary, so there's like a good student community and lots of student residences around the city. But yeah, no, it's in terms of accommodation, it is definitely, there's wide availability.
I think amazing, amazing, Megan. So just let's do the maths. You're saving somewhere between $500 to $1,000 every month.
Fair,
Okay,
exactly.
somewhere
Four
in
years.
between.
Hmm.
And for
In
four
four
years,
years,
just
uh,
multiply it by four.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
it's like 12,000 a year, 48,000, somewhere around 40 to 48,000 for 4 years for your entire education. You
Yeah, so
can do a
definitely.
lot more with that money. Like I am a money, so I'll just invest it in an FD.
Yeah, there you
Just
go.
get the stuff in it. So saves a lot of money, pushes you into a very good university. There are so many co-op options when you go to
Yeah.
University of Lethbridge from second year. You have an opportunity to earn in these co-op options where
Mm-hmm.
within your education they want you to work
Yeah.
because Indian experience is nothing in Canada. They want you to get the experience in Canada, work there, and this is where the university provides you that platform. Go for 4 months, 8 months, 12
Yeah.
months. It's a paid kind of a
Exactly.
work internship. Go, and then you recover your cost from there also and get the experience. So that's a bonus.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really important experience, and we definitely try to promote that the co-op opportunities for sure. Yeah, a really
almost
good idea.
almost 1 year ka cost, almost a year cost student can save if he will
Yeah.
study in Calgary. So
Yep.
it's a very good opportunity. I always think about it. Uh, एक ये मेरा उन सारे स्टूडेंट की तरफ से सवाल है. आई रियली वांट टू आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन मेगन फ्रॉम ऑल द स्टूडेंट ends. At the end of the parent are investing in their student, for their fees and everything. So what is the opportunity? What
Yeah,
end of the day, what they are getting from it? What the return of investment, I would say.
for sure.
What will be the return of investment of getting degree from University of Lethbridge?
Yeah, for sure. No, and that's a really, really important question and something we need to obviously, like, as Utkarsh said, do the maths and do the cost benefit. But when we think about, yeah, as I mentioned, the Dillon School of Business at University of Lethbridge is that AACSB accredited. So we do know that, regardless of whether students are staying in Canada or moving back home, they're getting a quality education and an education that is internationally recognized. So that's going to help them in terms of their long-term professional careers. Of course, if they're staying within Calgary or within Alberta or even Canada, the University of Lethbridge is well recognized within Canada as well. So, just having that degree, that name on their transcript, on their paper is helpful in any case. But of course, when we see where we see real success is where students do take on these opportunities that Utkarsh mentioned, like the co-op program, something that, can really, really help students become successful later on, because they're networking from that year 2 or year 3 where they do their co-op. They're starting with a Canadian company, getting local experience, making local connections. And then most of the time, students that do a co-op program, they'll end up getting hired by that same company once they graduate. So I think the statistic is something like 22% higher salaries for students who do co-op versus students who don't, because they've made that connection and they're able to negotiate a higher salary because they already have that experience within their degree. So that's something that really helps. But yeah, when students graduate, I mean, as I say, Calgary has a really up and coming business and tech sector. So, a lot of students who are within our, let's say, accounting or finance programs right now, they might be looking towards getting like their CPA or their CFA designations. Students in HR might be going for their HR designation, so that they can get that recognized license to work locally as well. And because the program is accredited, they don't have to do any extra schooling in order to get into that designation. So that we'll see a lot of students progressing into that sort of route. But then also, there's lots of jobs available in the tech sector. As I mentioned, students might be looking to, get work experience as like data analyst or IT manager or something like this. So that, they'll be looking for local experience after, and there's lots of opportunities available. So
Yeah, I think very, very well explained. Like amazing opportunities there in Calgary. Well, just for parents and students both. So just take an example. 4 years की study है in Canada. After these 4 years, 3 साल आपको पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट वर्क वीजा मिलता है, जहाँ पर आप 4 साल काम करते हो. उन 4 साल में आप जितनी फीस पे करते हो इज समवेयर अराउंड इन इंडियन रुपीज पर ईयर इज अराउंड 13 लाख 14 लाख रुपीज. way more cost effective than any other institute, that too studying in a public institute. आप 4 साल वो पढ़ते हैं. इन बिटवीन यू डू कोऑप्स, आप बीच में कोऑप इंटर्नशिप्स करते हो, जिसमें देयर इज अ पोटेंशियल पर मंथ अर्निंग समवेयर अराउंड 2000 to 4000 5000 कैनेडियन डॉलर्स पर मंथ. सो वो 4 महीने की होती है, 8 महीने की होती है, 12 महीने की होती है, लाइक 4 8 and 12, depending upon your program where you get into. After those 4 years, you start working. There's a pre-permit, work permit, जहाँ पर you can work into the sector, into your relevant sectors, अगले 3 साल के लिए. Now, I don't know comparison is, I know comparison is not good. Let's just compare. Very basic, क्योंकि we are humans, we understand in that sense only. Any other destination, this is a 7 year journey that the student goes through. It changes you in and out. कहीं भी आप जाओगे, maybe it's 3 years, 4 years, maximum 5 years. Canada gives you the option, आप जा रहे हो, you study for 7 years, you work for 7 years. आप कॉस्ट तो भूल जाओ, कॉस्ट तो आप जल्दी रिकवर कर ही जाओगे. वॉट एवर यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग इन द एजुकेशन, यू विल रिकवर. नेक्स्ट पार्ट is there a chance that are you so much value adding to that country that they want you to stay, they want you to offer that employment. provided you go into the right profession. For example, I don't know why students don't think, for students who don't want to go to hardcore computer science, semiconductor semiconductor industry is booming. Nvidia has crossed $5 trillion. देश की इकोनॉमी से बड़ी there is a company. You go study semiconductor engineering or something related to that. You go to study chemical engineering, वहाँ भी जरूरत होती है. कैसे एक country आपको नहीं रोकेंगे if you are providing that kind of value. Let's discuss medical healthcare. In yesterday's session, Dan specifically mentioned that Canada needs medical health professionals, and now not everybody can become a doctor, not everybody can become a nurse or whatever. So if it's a big hospital, 500 700, there are 500 700 people working, maybe just 50 of them are doctors, 50 of them are nurses, rest 400 500 people, there's a profession called perfusionist. They work on machines जो ऑपरेट करती हैं on your heart, on your lungs. आप अपनी बैचलर्स करो इन योर बायोमेडिकल साइंसेज, यू डू योर मास्टर्स अगेन, आपको कैसे नहीं स्कोप खुलेगा. बट स्टूडेंट ऑल्सो नीड टू डू देयर रिसर्च. Plenty of opportunities in tech sector, health sector. So I am very hopeful, since I have also lived abroad, I have seen it with my eyes. So that makes the whole difference. So plenty of opportunities. Again, go to a city which is growing as a student.
And that this is very good explanation by you, Karsh. It is very important to understand what and where they are going to study. After plus two, it is a very big question for all. एक student के साथ ही नहीं होता है, for their parents also, कि
Right.
अपने बच्चे को क्या पढ़ाएं. Alright, और क्या कोर्स पढ़ाएं. फ्यूचर, व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट फ्यूचर, फ्यूचर इज ऑल अबाउट कि हम उसको कैसे अप्रोच कर रहे हैं, हाउ वी आर अप्रोचिंग फॉर आवर गोल. इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. That is why the program of study, it is play very important role here, what they are going to study. And the उससे भी ज़्यादा important होता है वो कहाँ से किया जा रहा है. Then the location and the university plays very important. It's very important here क्योंकि उनकी रैंकिंग आज, फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स टेक एन एग्जाम्पल, कि कोई स्टूडेंट का रिज्यूमे आता है, दे आर नॉट, वो डायरेक्टली स्टूडेंट को नहीं मीट करते, वो उनका रिज्यूमे देखते हैं. रिज्यूमे में अगर कोई अच्छा ब्रांडेड यूनिवर्सिटी है तो डेफिनेटली वो एक उनकी प्रोफाइल को या उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग को ज़्यादा अच्छा एक्सप्लेन करता है. तो without any guarantee, can I ask you a small question? What student achieve after graduation? Simple सा question है.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. I think I missed you.
What have you means? What have you seen student achieve after graduation?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, actually, we're really, one of the nice things about UICC, or one of the fun things about UICC, is that we actually just have our cohort, our newest cohort, or our original cohort is still in their second year. So we're looking ahead to our first cohort graduation. But the University of Lethbridge itself has seen lots of success with graduation. We've got a rate of, I think, close to 95% employment rate. And especially within, as I say, Calgary, those success stories are pretty strong, especially with students who've done the co-op, as I mentioned. The students that we currently have, as I say, they've just passed into their second year, our first cohort. So they're working towards graduation. But the future looks really, really strong for them, to be honest. I do want to just mention a couple students from India, because they are two of our most strong students that we have. And for example, the both of them, they started with us in their first intake with UICC. Both are in their second year. One's doing finance, one's doing marketing, if I'm not wrong. But we're really, really optimistic about their future, because they have taken on basically every possible professional development opportunity throughout their program. So, I mean, both of them are actually working part-time with us in the office, but both have already started looking for part-time work outside reside off campus. They're both taking part in like volunteer opportunities. So we've got, student communities within UICC, like orientation leaders and group leaders that, act as student mentors for our new international students. Both of them have taken on that opportunity. They've also taken part in like our innovation challenge and consulting challenge that we do every semester, where they get to present in front of their cohort and present in front of their professors, and they came in first and third respectively, so really nice to see. But I think because they are working so hard to get all of those extracurricular experiences, we're pretty confident that they're going to have success after graduation. So we're looking forward to our first like UICC graduation. But as I say, University of Lethbridge historically has already shown a lot of success for students post-graduation, especially within Calgary itself.
So I have,
Always,
yes, Utkarsh.
yes, as Megan already mentioned, the kind of activities that are run in the institute. Like always, tell the student with this quote that education and academics will make you travel to the gold mine. Now the skills you develop will help you dig the gold mine where the
Correct.
gold is.
Agree.
So it's always a combination of both. So there's one
Yeah.
Indian student called Samir.
Yeah.
So he participated in the events at UICC, and he wants, so it's like a kind of a Shark Tank. So they have to pitch their own idea,
Yeah,
they have to
exactly.
present, and I think Megan he won also. That's
Yeah,
he won.
exactly. That's who I was mentioning. Yeah, Samir, he's
So
so good.
that kind of skills, after you get your academics done, you are able to use that knowledge into practical curriculum, and where you are assessed before you go out in the world by your professors. That kind of experience, and within a close knit environment, there's no
Exactly.
fear to be judged. One common thing when you see and talk to any UICC student is like, I was an introvert, I was not able to speak, or maybe I was not able to connect with people. The kind of freedom they gave us so that I can open up myself, explore my qualities, the abilities I have been gifted with. That kind of environment provided by UICC made these things come out of them. बच्चे के अंदर जो एक डेवलपमेंट है उसका एक environment जो create होता है, you can't force that into them. All you can do is you give them an environment. So that kind of structured curriculum plus practical development goes through that 1 year for the student, and that results in a fruitful outcome for them, so that they are ready for life after 4 years. So ऐसे बच्चे को मिलने के चांस बहुत बढ़ जाते हैं. पहला टेक्निकली उनके पास कोऑप का एक्सपीरियंस है ऑन पेपर, ऑन देयर रेज्यूमे कि यस आई हैव वर्कड हियर, मैंने यहाँ काम किया हुआ.
Yeah.
तो कोई भी एम्प्लॉयर देखता तो बोलता है यस मैंने यहाँ काम किया, मतलब बच्चे ने काम किया हुआ है, इट्स अ प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस. सो या दोस
Yeah.
काइंड ऑफ आउटकम्स.
Yeah.
That's very correct, Utkarsh. One more thing I just wanted to clear here, which is not, uh, this is out of the box actually. How internship uh, play, how do you connect the internship with the student here in University of Lethbridge?
Yeah, for sure. So exactly. So with the co-op program, basically students can decide, I think Utkarsh already mentioned, they can decide if they want to do 4, 8, or 12 months. So if they just want to take one semester, 2 or 3. And it's available from their second year. So after they pass from UICC into the university directly, what we do is within the first year, when students are still within the pathway, we'll connect them with a career advisor who will kind of explain what the process is so that they can already plant the seed and start thinking about it. And the nice thing is that career advisor is literally right down the hallway from our office. Super easy for them to come in and connect with that person at any time if they want to kind of already start the conversation. But yeah, they'll get a little orientation in their first year so they know what to expect. And then in their second year, if they do want to start a co-op and have that, then they'll connect with that career advisor. They'll get them on the university like job portal basically, which has all the listings of all of the jobs that are available. And it's kind of up to the student how independent they want to be within that process. If they want to just go and apply on their own, fine. If they need a bit more support and they need a bit of help with, writing up the resume and practicing for the interview and such, then they can connect with the career advisor for more like sessions one-on-one and to work through that process together a little bit. But that support is there. So the student will apply to as many jobs as they desire, and then the university will support them in terms of actually helping them get that position settled. And then from there, it's up to the student to provide good performance within that. But the University of Lethbridge shows that they've got like 100% satisfaction rate from employers within the co-op. So, really good historical performance there. But yeah, exactly. And then the student will be earning throughout that 4, 8, or 12 months. And then once they're done their co-op work term, then they'll return back to their classes and continue on with their degree. But of course, that's going to be experience they can put on their resume.
All right. I just wanted to ask some question from what we receive in comment. What
For sure.
about visa success with embassy for your institute?
Yeah, for sure. It's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. We've seen that all across the country. But yeah, I mean, in the last semester, we were like around, let's say 40%, 45%. It is, I think last term was a real struggle for everyone. So we are hopeful that it'll, go up for September. Supposedly what we've heard is that September is traditionally a more successful time. There's usually more approvals in the September term, so we're optimistic that it's going to go up. I'm not sure if you talked yesterday about the CSP team or like the visa support that we also are able to provide on our end, but we're really trying to support students as much as possible through the process so that we have less risk of refusal. But yeah, it's definitely it's tough. We're working hard to get it to increase for sure.
And Jashanpreet Singh, he asked, I'm 2026 pass out with 85%, non-medical maths 89%. Am I eligible for scholarship and how much?
Yeah, for sure. So exactly. So the entry requirements for UICC, as we mentioned, are above 50%. So as long as the student in grade 12 has an average of 50% across 4 academic subjects, then that's fine for us. For the scholarship is the $2,000 for the entrance scholarship, as Utkarsh mentioned. And then for September 2026, we still have the progression scholarship as well. So that's another $1,500 added on once the student progresses into the second year. So as long as they're remaining within the institution, then they're going to be eligible for that extra $1,500. So total $3,500 after the second year as well. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
And Manjeet Kaur, she asked, math is compulsory for medical student to get admission for bachelor?
Yeah. So I mean, I won't talk about medicine because we just have business. But math isn't compulsory for our program. So we do if students do not have math, then we will get them to do kind of an online math course within their first year, which is fully supported. There's lots of lessons and practice quizzes and everything throughout that course. So very manageable, very achievable. But students do have to finish that before progressing into the second year. But it doesn't have to be done before they start. So math isn't an entry requirement in that case. Yeah.
Garima Sharma, she asked, how much is the realistic living expense to live near area?
Yeah, exactly. So really good question as well. So when we talk about, let's say the accommodation, as we mentioned, if we want to live right beside campus, which is literally downtown center, then we're probably going to be looking around $1,000 to $1,500 per month. But again, that's if you want to be in the heart of the city, so right in downtown. Of course, it's going to be cheaper if you want to live outside the city or outside downtown core. In terms of other costs, I mean, I think in terms of groceries, like food costs, most people say that it's around like $300 to $500 per month for grocery costs, like food costs. That is one of the highest costs in Canada across the board right now. Unfortunately, we have seen a bit of a rise in that sector of life, but still, it is reasonable. And then of course, like your transit costs, if you're living downtown, you're not paying any transit costs because you're within the free transit zone. So you'd be able to take the train for free as well. So that would be kind of your main costs.
And you can have fun around the city for free also.
Exactly. There's so many things, like the park is right there, and like the downtown shopping center is right there. It's like there's so many things really close by. Yeah.
That's very great. And I just wanted to inform you, this session is designed to help student and parent to understand one specific pathway and one specific city. Tomorrow we are going to, you know, कल और दूसरी यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ हम एक दूसरा सेशन करेंगे। हमारे इस वेबिनार करने का मेन रीज़न ये है कि हम आपको अवेयर कर सकते हैं। जैसे यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ लेथब्रिज को अगर हम किसी प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूशन के साथ, या लेट्स टेक एनी ओंटारियो के किसी भी रेगुलर कॉलेज के साथ भी कंपेयर करते हैं, तो हमेशा एक फियर ज़रूर होता है कि हम यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ने जा रहे हैं, यहाँ पर हमारा कॉस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा होगा, क्या हम यहाँ पे पढ़ पाएंगे कि नहीं पढ़ पाएंगे। तो यहाँ पे आज यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ लेथब्रिज इंटरनेशनल कॉलेज में ये क्लियर होता है, दे आर हेयर टू सपोर्ट इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट। वो स्कॉलरशिप प्लान के साथ आ रहे हैं, आपको एक अच्छी स्कॉलरशिप दे रहे हैं, जिससे कि एक छोटे लेवल के इंस्टीट्यूट जो कि बहुत ज़्यादा पॉपुलर हो रहे हैं उनके साथ भी हम कंपेयर करें तो उनके इक्वल फीस स्ट्रक्चर में आप यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ लेथब्रिज इंटरनेशनल कॉलेज इन कैलगरी आप अपनी पढ़ाई कर सकते हैं। एंड इनके पास बहुत अच्छे प्रोग्राम है जहाँ पे आप अपने बिजनेस की स्टडीज़, आर्टिफिशियल कंप्यूटर साइंस को बिजनेस के साथ ब्लेंड करके अपने फर्दर एजुकेशन को कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं। तो आज के इस सेशन में मैं बस यही बोलना चाहता हूँ कि यूनिवर्सिटी कोई भी फाइनल करें उसके लिए रिसर्च ज़रूरी है। इसी रिसर्च को बढ़ाने के लिए त्रिवेदी ओवरसीज एंड नाविटाज ने एक इनिशिएटिव लिया है कि हम यूनिवर्सिटी को आपके सामने प्रेजेंट करें और आपके दिए हुए क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करें, कि आपके माइंड में हम एक एज एन इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट हमेशा ये क्वेश्चन रहेगा कि क्या मैंने ये यूनिवर्सिटी सही चुनी है कि नहीं, या दिस इज़ अ राइट सिटी है कि नहीं मेरे लिए। इन सारी कंफ्यूजन का जवाब देने के लिए हम ये एक वेबिनार अरेंज कर रहे हैं जहाँ पे आप अपने सारे क्वेश्चन के आंसर पा सकते हैं। जैसे भविका ने क्वेश्चन पूछा है, व्हाट इज़ द PGWP स्टेटस। सो इसके बारे में उत्कर्ष आप कुछ एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं?
यस यस, जैसे वेबिनार में कवर किया है, सो
हाँ।
आफ्टर 4 years आपको 3 साल का पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट वर्क वीजा, इट्स 3 years. सो आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग योर ग्रेजुएशन यू कैन वर्क इन कैनेडा फॉर 3 more years, so which in total becomes 7 years in Canada. 4 years of study, 3 years of work, and within those 4 years of study अगर आप राइट प्रोग्राम में जाते हो यू हैव co-op अपॉर्चुनिटीज, तो आप अपने प्रोग्राम के दौरान भी काम करते हो। आई विश टाइम होता, आप खुद अपने यूट्यूब पे जाइए, UICC का यूट्यूब चैनल है उसमें चेक करिए, देयर इज अ स्टूडेंट कॉन अलीजा, उस जब वीडियो एंड होती है इट इट मेक्स मी फील सो गुड। उस स्टूडेंट ने ये बोला कि हम लोग ना बहुत टाइम लगाते हैं डिसाइड करने में, यार नुकसान ना हो जाए, ऐसे ना हो जाए, वैसे ना हो जाए। सो शी सेड कि मेरे दिमाग में सारी एप्रीहेंशंस थी, उसने बोला कि मेरे को यहाँ करके इतना, शी इज फीलिंग सो गुड, यू जस्ट कम एंड एक्सप्लोर, इट्स वर्थ ऑफ एन एक्सपीरियंस। सो दैट कम्स जब वो स्टूडेंट से आता है, दैट गिव्स अस हैप्पीनेस कि यार हम वी आर इनटू एजुकेशन एंड वी आर चेंजिंग लाइव्स। एंड आई ऑलवेज ट्रीट 17 years old, 18 years old as almost adults who have the
Yes.
capacity to start taking their own decisions. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, and thank you, Megan, for your time here today. That means this session is very informative. We learn a lot from you today,
Good. Good.
and the life in Calgary, that was the really highlight how student will live there. That is the biggest question there. Means in Calgary life कैसा होगा इसको समझना बहुत important था, and Megan, you did it very well. And Utkarsh, thank you for your time. एंड आज के सेशन को हम यहाँ पे क्लोज करते हैं। कल एक नई यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ आएंगे और आपकी क्वेश्चन का जवाब देंगे।
Yeah, amazing. Thank you both so
Anytime.
much. Yeah, it's been
Thank
wonderful
you,
to
Megan.
connect with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Trivedi
All right,
overseas.
take care.
That's all to everyone. Take care. Bye bye.